into the business end of the Europa Conference League with Trabzonspor and Strasbourg at the top of the table, heading into match day number 5. Of course, who will take full advantage? Of course, this week, we're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It is match day number 5, that's right, over in the Europa Conference League, as of course, clubs are trying to get closer to that illustrious knockout round. Who, of course, will take the advantage of this week? Well, we'll get into all of that in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Europa Conference League, Blackburn Rovers, whoa, football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. It's an interesting top 8 as we head into week number 5. That's right. But what about the likes of Crystal Palace and Fiorentina? Can they get themselves in contention once again for the top 8 finishes? We'll get into all of that and more in a minute. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the Patreons, big shout out to you. But of course, we are looking forward to the next round of games on this. That is, of course, the Conference League. So sit tight, hold on, as we're about to get into it. That's right, by recapping what went on last time around, then shall we, with these. Of course, these were my predictions on the left-hand side. The real score is on the right, as you see it. AZ Alkmaar did beat Shelbourne 2-0 as predicted. Bratislava, though, with a cheeky 2-1 win over Rayo Vallecano. That was a scoreline we didn't expect. Meanwhile, Rakau Krashkovic with a 4-1 win over Rapid Vienna. I went with a 1-0. Armenia Nicosia did beat Dynamo Kiev 2-0. I went with a draw. Poznan did beat Lausanne 2-0 as predicted. University Krakova beating Mainz 1-0 winners over in Romania. There went the other way. Olomouc did beat Salij 2-1. I went with a 1-0. Shrinsky Mostar beating Hakan 2-1 at home, which of course was another upset on the apple cart. Hammer and Spartans with a 3-1 win over Red Imps of Gibraltar. I went with a 1-0 win on that one. Athens picking up a win away to Fiorentina. That was a surprise. Shakhtar did beat Shamrock 2-1. I went with a 2-0 win. Sparta Prague beating Legia also on the road as well. Strasbourg knocking down at Crystal Palace 2-1. I went with a draw. Jagiellonian Brest with a 1-0 win over Cups. I went with a 2-0 win. It was all square between Rijeka and Larnaca. 0-0 as predicted. Aberdeen could only get the draw against Noah. Drita beating Shikeda 79 there with a 1-0 win. And then, of course, Obradovic and Trabzonspor did draw over in Iceland. That's right. Now, this is the situation in the table heading into match number 5, as you see. This is the bottom end of the table. Maybe I shouldn't be on the screen. Maybe my big fat head shouldn't be on the screen. So have a look at it right there then, shall we? It is, of course, Rapid Vienna, of course, bottom of the pile there. No points so far. It looks about over for them heading into this one then, shall we? And, of course, struggles for the likes of Obradovic. Slavan Bratislava, Hakan as well, and Dynamo Kiev look like they're not going to be making much progress. Moving further up, this is, of course, the illustrious 16 clubs that were, if it was to end today, they'd go into that playoff round. Of course, still points to be had, though, just to break into that top 8. But some work to be done for the likes of AZ Alkmaar, Crystal Palace, Fiorentina, Lausanne-Sport, Rayo Vallecano, some of the big hitters that are not in the top 8. But, my ladies and gentlemen, your top 8 looks like this. It is, of course, Jagiellonian Brest in 8. We've got Larnaca in 7th. Krakova, Krashkova in 6th. Mainz are up there in 5th. Shakhtar Donetsk are 4th. Salij, Strasbourg, and Trabzonspor, baby. So that's the situation, of course, in the table. We're now rolling to match number 5. And these are those games that are coming at you this week. So sit tight and kick it all off with a trip to Italia. Yeah, that's right. With Fiorentina taking on Dynamo Kiev coming at you. Fiorentina, Pallavanoli's boys are in 17th spot. They're in a good position, but they could be much better right now. But they haven't won in the last 8 matches. That's, of course, both domestically and in European competition. Up against Dynamo Kiev and Igor Kushkish there. They sit 27th right now. Just 4 defeats in a row right now. All competitions are just the 3 points all day long. They have played a couple of times in previous competitions. The last time they played in Italy resulted in a 2-0 win for Fiorentina back in April 2015. The Italians are on the back of a 2-0 loss to Atalanta. As for Dynamo Kiev, pick up a loss as well to Patova in the Ukrainian top flight. Bookies for this one, they go with Fiorentina. I go with Fiorentina as well. 2-0 winners for the hosts. And, of course, that'll be a big welcome relief heading into this one. Let's go to Drita as they take on AZ Alkmaar. That's right. Drita under, what are we looking at? Ramadan Zrekez, the coach there. 5 wins of the last 6. They are in 8th position right now with 8 points. Standing in the way this week is AZ Alkmaar from the Dutchlands with Martin Martins in charge. 20 for the table, 6 points for them. 2 wins of the last 3 matches. Coming into this AZ Alkmaar on the back of a 3-1 win over Zwolle in the KMV Becker round 2. As for Drita also winning in the cup. 3-0 winners against Beja in their top flight there. The bookies for this one, they're going to back AZ Alkmaar, and I think my mind is also leaning that way for the Dutch. Going to go with a 2-1 win, tight one, but Drita are flying, so They go with a bit of a warning. Meanwhile, let's go to Shikeda Titovo coming at you against Slovan Bratislava. That's right. Vladimir Weiss is in charge there. Justin Beckeri in charge of the hosts, who are 25th at the table with just 4 points, of course. 2 defeats in the last 6 for them. Up against Slovan Bratislava, just the 1 defeat in the last 6. But they are struggling with 29th position with 3 points, all Conference League long. Coming into this, they are also on the back of a defeat. Bratislava losing to Razobabrich last time around. As for Shikeda Titovo, they also won at the start of the month as well. Coming into this, the bookies are going to go with Slovan Bratislava, the away side here for the victory. It's a tight one. Could be a bit of a coin flip. I've gone with the draw here. 1-1 in the end. Doesn't do anyone any favours in their search to climb the table. Let's go to Noah as they take on Legia Warsaw. That's right, from Poland. Of course, come at you. One of the early kickoffs on the 11th of December. Noah Yerevan under Sandro Pekovic in charge. Three matches unbeaten now. Noah Yerevan. But they sit 23rd on the table with 6 points. I say 3 matches unbeaten. They're actually 3 draws in a row, with winless in the last 5. Up against Legia Warsaw under Irkinai Aziz from Spain. They're 28th right now. Really had a miserable campaign over here in the Conference League. They are winless in the last 8 matches, goodness gracious me, including the last one, which they did play against Motor Lublin, which they drew. As for Noah Yerevan, 3 draws in a row, back-to-back draws, of course, including in this competition last time around when they drew with Aberdeen on the road. Bookies for this one find it very, very tight. They do lead towards Legia Warsaw. I've gone with a Legia Warsaw victory, but they are, of course, winless in a long, long time. Let's go to Krakova as they take on Sparta Prague over in Romania. Another early kickoff on the 11th. Filipe Kulelo is the coach there for the Romanians. They sit 15th right now with 7 points. Against Sparta Prague under Brian Prisky, they are 11th with 7 points as well. Coming into this, Sparta Prague on the back of a 2-1 win in the Cup against Artis. As for University of Krakova, also 4-0 winners in the Cup in Romania. The bookies for this one, though, coming into this, they lean towards the host here, who, of course, coming into this, level on points with Sparta Prague, and, of course, 4 positions worse off in the table. But a win for them could see them leapfrog. I've gone with the draw here, 1-1 in the end in Romania. Let's go to Jagiellonian Brastic. So they take on Vallecano out of Spain. That's right. Adrian Simonic is in charge for the Poles. They sit 9th right now, 8 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Vallecano, Igno Perez is in charge. They sit 12th with 7 points. Also 1 defeat in the last 6. Of course, cup action around the grounds. Around Europe it was last week, with Katowice beating Jagiellonia to knock them out of the Polish Cup in the round of 16. As for Vallecano, extra time needed to beat Avila to get through to the 3rd round of the Cup del Rey. Bookies for this one, they're leaning towards a Jagiellonian Brastic defeat here. Vallecano expected to get the win. I've gone with a 2-0 win as well for Vallecano, which, of course, hopefully, for their sakes, get them towards that top 8. Here we go. Tabletop of Zabzonspor taking on AEK Athens. That's right. Thomas Reis in charge for the Turkish outfit. But they are winless in 4 games heading into this. Up against AEK Athens and Marko Nikolic. They are 10th right now. 5 wins on the bounce. And, of course, probably a team to avoid at the moment. Coming into this, Zabzonspor losing to Galatasaray in the Superliga. As for Athens, with a 2-0 win over Crete in the, whatever was going that. I think it must be a Greece Cup. Bookies for this one, they're leaning towards, it's tight, very, very fractionally, just marginally in favour of AEK Athens to upset Zabzonspor. Zabzonspor, of course, leading the charge, going with a 2-1 win, back to winning ways, and of course that would keep them top of the table heading into the next round of games. Let's go to Hacken as they take on Larnaca, coming at you out of Cyprus. Where are you on my bloody board here? I'll find it. It's coming at you somewhere. Where are you? There you are, Larnaca. So we head to Sweden with Hacken Gothenburg with Jens Gustafsson in charge. They're, of course, struggling, winless in at least the last 7 matches. 3 defeats on the spin for them. Up against Larnaca under Emmanuel Iglesias. They are 7th in the table, 8 points for them. Unbeaten in at least the last 10 matches, goodness gracious me. They do come into this on the back of successive draws, Larnaca. Both of those games were on the road. In fact, there's been 3 away matches on the spin for the Cypriots. As for Hacken Gothenburg, also back-to-back away matches for them, back-to-back away defeats as well coming into this. The bookies for this one, they'll lean towards Hacken Gothenburg, who pretty much had a dismal campaign so far. I also agree with the bookies and lean towards the home victory here. 2-0 winners in the end. Let's kick it on forward to, I believe, the final. I think final, if it's not the final, it's very close to being the final. Early kickoff on the 11th of December. Bredovic from Iceland, they sit 32nd right now, 2 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 5 matches up against Shamrock Rovers. Stephen Bradley's in charge. Also, 2 wins in the last 6 matches. They're 35th with the 1 point compared to Bredovic. 32nd with the 2 points. Come at you in Iceland. Bredovic had played against the Irish opposition twice, and they went back-to-back heading into this. But they're on the back of a draw themselves, drawing with Trabzonspor, as of course the domestic league has come to a close here. As for the Irish, also losing to Shakhtar most recently in the previous round of this competition. The bookies will back the Icelanders. Going to go with this win as well for Bidovic to continue, to give them some points and maybe a little last-minute surge towards maybe those playoffs or more. Let's go to Malta as Hamrun Spartans. They're going to be taking on Shakhtar Donetsk, of course, this coming match day. There it is. This is, of course, one of the standard kickoffs of the day. Of course, Spartans managed by Giacomo Modica. They are just 30th right now. 30 points for them. Just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Shakhtar under Arda Turan. They're 4th. 9 points for them. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. Coming into this in strong form right now. And of course, looking to make a surge for the number 1 spot. Of course, coming into this, did draw last time around, though, against Karabes Kryvyi in the Ukrainian top flight there. Spartans also picking up a win against the Lincoln Red Imps in this previous round of this competition. The bookies will back Shakhtar. I'm going to back Shakhtar as well. 3-0 win, comfortably done. It might even be 5 or 6, cheekily. Rapid Vienna. They're going to be taking on Armenia Nicosia, coming over in Austria. That's right. Stefan Kudryov is in charge there. They are rock bottom, of course. No points for them. All campaign winners in at least the last 5. Up against Nicosia, managed by the ex-Rover there. Henning Berg's in charge, 21st on the table. 5 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They have previously played last season. In fact, this time last season, the 12th of the 12th, 2024. And it resulted in a 3-1 win for the Cypriot outfit in Cyprus. In match number 5 of this competition. Identical match last time around. Rapid Vienna, though, losing to Lasic in the Bundesliga in Austria. Meanwhile, Armenia Nicosia with a 3-1 win over Aradabu in the old Cypriot top flight. The bookies will back Rapid Vienna, who have been god-awful here. I've gone with a 2-0 win for them as well. Somehow they're going to pick a result out of nowhere. And, of course, maybe get them off from bottom spot. Let's go back to Ireland, should we say, as Shelbourne take on Crystal Palace. That's right, Joseph O'Brien's in charge there. They are 34th, which is the 1 point, just 1 win in the last 5. Up against Glasgow and Crystal Palace, who are 18th for 6 points, of course. 2 defeats still in the last 3 matches for the away side. Coming into this, Crystal Palace are on the back of that victory over Burnley. Got Fulham this match day, this weekend, of course. As for Shelbourne, losing to AZ Alkmaar last time around. Haven't scored a goal in the last 3 matches competitively. And of course, expected to lose this by a landslide. Going to go with a 3-0 win for Palace here. Bookies agree. And of course, we'll see that. Meanwhile, Poznan, Poznan got Lech Poznan up against Mainz out of Germany, who are up there into 5th right now. Lech Poznan into 16th right now. 6 points for them. Unbeaten now in the last 4 matches. Mainz, though, under Benjamin Hoffmann, not doing the greatest in the Bundesliga. They are struggling there. Winless in the last 5, including fresh off the bat there. 1-0 loss to Mainz just the other day there. Lech Poznan on the back of a 2-0 win over Glitch. The bookies for this one will back the Germans on this one. I'm also backing the Germans. A tight one. Again, their home form or Bundesliga form is a question mark for everything, but they're still in prime position to make it through to the knockouts at the moment. Let's go to Scotland then, shall we? Aberdeen taking on Strasbourg. Jimmy Tillin's in charge here, 33rd in the table, 2 points for them, but they're unbeaten in the last 7 matches. Standing in the way is Strasbourg under Liam Rossignol. They've won 3, they've lost 3. They sit 2nd right now with 10 points, of course, including, though, they did lose to Stade Brest at the back end of November. They're Aberdeen on the back of that 3-3 thriller at home to St Mirren. The bookies will back Strasbourg for the victory here, despite it being in Scotland. Got to go with a cheeky 2-0 win for the high-flying French outfit. 2-0 winners. And, of course, they will make a surge as well to remain in that top 8. Let's go to Rijeka as they take on Salij. That's right, coming at you as well on the 11th. Victor Sanchez is in charge. Just 1 defeat for Rijeka, 24th for the table. 5 points for them up against Salij. Albert Riera is in charge. Just 1 win and 5. But they are flying in 3rd with 9 points, of course. These two sides, previous foes, of course, back in 2016, 2017, a couple of friendlies, resulting in 2 victories for Rijeka. Rijeka also winning in the cup in the midweek. 4-1 winners over there. Salij crashing out Slovenian Cup to Olimpia Ljubljana. Bookies for this one. We'll go with the hosts here. I've also gone with the hosts, so the Salij taking a bit of a thump in here, and of course maybe lose their position in that top 8. Let's kick it on forward to Raka Krzyżkowa as they take on Śląski Mostar. That's right, come at you over in Poland. Marek Papazan's in charge. They are 6th right now. 8 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Śląski Mostar. Igor Stimac is in charge. 19th at the table. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Śląski Mostar picking up a win. Last time around, 2-0 winners of Rudawa Pejoda. Krzyżkowa also picking up back-to-back away wins. In fact, they've scored 10 goals in the last 3 games combined. And of course, are looking forward to this game eagerly. The bookies agree with that as well. Going to go with a 2-0 win. Rako Krzyżkowa making a push for dominance in the back end of this qualifiers. Into the final 2 is Red Imps out of Gibraltar up against Illuminich. Of course, Red Imps managed by Jen Bezizas. 26th in the table. 4 points for them so far. Just one defeat in the last 6 up against Luminic. Also one defeat in the last 6. But that one defeat was last time around against Slovan Liberec. That's right. Meanwhile, the Red Imps on the back of 9 goals in the last 2. Expected to lose this game still, though, despite all that. I'm also going with a 3-0 win for Luminic. We're in 14th and, of course, hoping to make it into the top 10 or maybe more. And then finally, boys and girls, we got a Cups as they take on Lausanne Sport out of Switzerland. The Finnish outfit hosted this week. Of course, Jaco Wies is in charge. Just one defeat for them. 22nd in the table, 5 points on the board. Up against Lausanne Sport, Peter Zeidler is in charge. 13th at the table, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. They did lose as well to Jurvern Sport in the Swiss Cup round of 16 this past week. As for Cups, also losing to Jaglolia at the back end of November there, of course. Bookies for this one will lean towards Lausanne Sport for the W. Gotta go with a 1-1 draw in Finland to end that bit of the campaign. And if I'm right, guys, with these picks, this is what the table will look like. And again, I'll get my hairy ass off the screen so you can see in all your glory. Shelbourne and Charlotte Rovers are 2 Irish outfits struggling. Aberdeen in good company as well. Rapid Vienna making strides with, of course, a game remaining. And, of course, still struggling. We've got Slovan Bratislava, Dynamo Kiev in the mix. Into the middle of the pack we go. The likes of Legia Warsaw down there. AEK, Athens, Lausanne Sport, AZ Alkmaar. Fiorentina still not good enough to break into the top 8. But in that top 8, we finally see Crystal Palace. We see the likes of Vallecano, Mainz, Shakhtar, and Sabson Spor. Sabson Spor leads the charge over there. And of course, that's the situation at the end of match number 5. We'll be back for match number 6, which I believe is the final game in the Conference League. So it's win or bust for all clubs to see if they can continue the journey into the next rounds. But that is it, guys. Subscribe, smash the like. We'll catch you later whenever we return. Whenever that is, we're done.